What's up, y'all? This is William Mustafa, William Mustafa. I am the Imagineer on Instagram. Today, I'm out here doing some photography, some street photography with two nondescript lenses that you never have ever seen a street photography video before. I think. I'm going to be using the f8 Vivitar 500mm mirror lens for street photography.
Yeah, I said Vivitar. The Vivitar f8 500mm. Yeah, 500mm. I don't know who shoots for that 500mm. I mean, no one does, but today I will.
This guy here.
Sure, but I purchased it before my son was born, so it had to be over 7-8 years ago.
The 500mm is a fucking tricky ass lens. It's a tricky lens, number one, because it's a mirror lens, which means that it has a constant f8 aperture like the majority of the mirror lenses that are out there on the market.
But I think when used in particular methods, if you have a method to your madness, this is a lens that maybe you can take advantage of.
Number two, it gives you these weird characteristics that you really don't get with other lenses. Number one, it gives you this circular bokeh, right? Which they call donut bokeh, which is pretty iconic. Or
I wouldn't even call them balls. They're just weird donut bokeh, and it's something that is
specific to this type of lens.
Now I could look up exactly what this means, but a mirror lens is a lens that uses a mirror. So using a mirror lens on a mirrorless camera, maybe that defeats the purpose of a mirrorless camera.
They aren't always the sharpest, even though they're f8, but I think it's best for you to show you better than I'm just rambling on again as usual.
I purchased it because it's dirt cheap. I mean, you can find these for practically nothing. And when you first jump into the photography game, you're just going crazy with buying stuff. So I bought this as one of my early purchases that I've never really got rid of. I've only used it a couple of times, so using it today is really just because I want to lift with heavy weights.
When you're doing street photography for as long as I've been doing it, you kind of see everything that you've ever seen in the street. Everything. So this kind of seemed a little fun, to be honest. So I'm going to do some cool compositions and see what I get. You know, when you're a young photographer, you're just getting started doing this photography thing, you go online, you start looking for everything. You're like, oh, that looks cool, I want to buy that. Oh, that looks cool, I want to buy that. And this is one of those lenses that I wanted to purchase. Now, I think I purchased it because I wanted to do some astrophotography, but at f8, it's pretty shitty for that type of work. But it does have some cool advantages. I did notice that this has a macro feature, if you want to call it that, because it is a plastic lens. It kind of show you exactly how far this gets. I'm standing on one side of the street. I want to show you what this sees and then what my lens sees. Okay, one second. Look over there. You can see real small the free Gaza. Right? If I hit it with the big camera, look at this. This is what the camera sees. Isn't that crazy? Now, because this is a Sony, I can go into crop mode and punch in one more time, which will give me basically 750mm. So check this out. That's crazy. It's crazy. I never use this lens, ever. But it's giving me some fun. Like, this is like the ultimate voyeur lens. Not that I'm a voyeur, I'm just saying voyeur. Yeah. Maybe for video, better. Because like you can compose like real far back and get some good B-roll. But for video, it's like even shooting from across the street, it's way too close. This is like a good, I don't know, 30 meters across the street. Damn, I'm speaking in meters and not feet anymore. I need to go back home to America, damn it. And for some reason, I don't remember it being this good. I mean, the shitty part is that it's hell to frame anything at 500mm. I mean, it is the epitome of what a telephoto lens is. The epitome. 500mm, that's far, real far. Next test, if that's what we want to call it, is I'm going to go to an area where there's going to be a lot of people at. All right. And I used to come here all the time just because I called it my shooting gallery. I guess that's the best way to call it, because there's people everywhere and not paying any damn attention. So let's see over here what I'm going to capture. Now I'm trying to do some video tests and I'm going to do some photo tests. What I am seeing, or what I'm remembering now, that the contrast is really not there. So if you like those light lack of contrast images, I think that would probably, though this would probably be a good lens for you to play around with. Okay, so what I want to do is actually, I want to try to do something that I've never did with this lens. I want to do a multi-picture panoramic using the Brazier method with a 500mm f8 lens. Another thing that I remember about this lens that I didn't like was that the fact that it had a very, 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 very small depth of field. So it's like if anything moves in or out of focus, you're going to get like not a sharp image. So it's going to be difficult, but I'll figure it out. Now to accomplish this, I'm going to have to try to catch somebody who's not moving. Then I'm going to have to get a multiple number of pictures of them in the right depth of field with acceptable sharpness, and then stitch them all together. The image will probably look the best if there's some depth behind them, because then it will look really nice and the bokeh will kind of be camouflaged and everything will come together. So I have an idea where to go. That didn't work because he moved, but I got another idea. The fountain over here doesn't move. And that's an inanimate object. And I can stitch those together and I can get some depth behind it, I think.
But like, I still feel like it's good observations.
So let's try that. If you wonder what I was doing, I was like, had the camera down and I was looking down at the camera so I could shoot. So don't look at me like I'm weird, okay? People, stop being so judgmental. I give up with that attempt of shooting with that 500mm. 500mm f8. Yes. Did he just say f8? Vivitar 500mm? I probably got something, but I'll see once I get home and go home on the computer and check the sharpness and things of that nature. What? The lens isn't that bad. The problem with it in general is the fact that there's a lack of contrast. If you don't have a lens that has focus peaking on it, you'll probably have some trouble focusing because the depth of field is just so shallow. So, what I'm going to do now to challenge myself and have a little bit more fun is I'm going to throw on the kit lens that comes with every single APS-C Sony camera, the 16 to 50. Bro, now you're going to put on the kit lens? Like with all the glass that you got, you're going to use the kit lens. I mean, when I first got this lens fucking like almost a decade ago on my first little APS-C camera, the Sony a5100, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I did what I did. I didn't know there was anything better. I couldn't afford much of it. So the point is, a lot of people jump in the game and they want to change that lens up and spend all this money on gear. But the point is, you got to do with what you have when you have it. So let's see what I can do with this lens 10 years later.
What I will say though is what I've learned is one or two things in this video. I enjoy taking photographs when I'm relaxed. Number one, street photography for me is a form of therapy as well. It's not just something that I do for fun. It is a form of therapy, and being able to look at other people's lives from the outside and kind of appreciate what I have or remember what I don't have is what I see out here in these streets in this world. I kind of get lost in translation in what I do, because I really get enveloped in the art of creating. So with that said, is it the glass or is it the camera? Is it the artist? I think this is a question that we'll ponder on for a while in street photography. With that said, If you like what you see, please like, follow, subscribe on whatever social media platform this is on. And this is William Mustafa, Artworks of William Mustafa, and I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.